Here we are in the bottom right. In the red for Cascade Gaming. He's Skillous.
The upper left-hand corner in the blue, our other Protoss, it's Astrea.
Oh. And I apparently forgot to change his logo because I'm bad at this game. And, yeah. So he was introduced as being a part of Archangel, which is a problem. But it's okay. We all understand this. He is playing for Alpha X. He's not playing for Archangel Gaming. And he is Max Angel. He plays a holy version of PvP. But luckily, the holes are deified. They're not in his walls. For the most part. As I just sit here thinking about how in the world can I get myself out of the rhetorical hole, box that I've placed myself into. I'm not sure I accomplished that fact, but
I was just trying my very hardest not to make any jokes about the holes.
I know you were, and I appreciate you keeping this stream as PG as possible. See, I also understood that I was in trouble there. I'm like, how do I? There's a joke I'm making here, but it's not gonna work out. It's just gonna be problematic. But anyway, we have a pretty mirrored build coming in here from our red and our blue players. No fancy colors today because these are professional StarCraft players, and we are a professional StarCraft cast. Of course.
Correct. Nothing but the best with Team Exxon. Tell you that right now.
Yeah, are you excited to you excited for the as yet unannounced Exxon event in a couple? Is it announced?
I don't believe it's been announced yet.
Oh, are you excited for the as yet unannounced Exxon event that we will be casting in 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Oh, I am beyond excited for it. Beyond excited. It is going to be such a great event.
So what do you think? If we just throughout the rest of the event, we just keep talking about the unannounced event and get people really curious.
Very curious. Well, if they're curious, they should probably go follow Team Exxon on Twitter.
They probably should, and perhaps even maybe look up the Team Exxon Twitch page. I believe it's I believe it's just Exxon actually. Maybe Team. No, it's Team Exxon. Look up that Twitch page because there's gonna be fun stuff on there, and I am absolutely excited for it. You may even get to see Ash's face. Of course, this is the type of production value that we cannot afford here here on the Beowulf stream. It costs too much to actually get her face. I can only pay for her voice.
Yeah.
Actually,
yeah, sorry.
See, actually, it's good because I think she pays me at that point. It's like the opposite of the voice for radio, right? You know,
No.
Yeah, a face for television.
No.
Is that the equivalent? Oh, the depth gets in.
Radio. Oh.
But it doesn't even matter. Although actually it does because look at this, 4 probes. Come on, let me pull in the corner. Okay, yeah, 4 probes will be pulled away for a little bit, but it, you know, 16 out of 16, it's okay.
Yeah,
but yes. So a voice for television and a face for radio. Absolutely. Good time.
And we've got a little Oracle made its way across the map here for Astrea, sitting pretty waiting to get something done, but right now he's worried about the bunch of stalkers here poking away at his natural, but he's got a couple units there and the shield battery overcharged, so a reprieve of a couple seconds, giving him enough time to go ahead and send that Oracle in here to the natural, which is undefended.
And only 3 workers will go down because unfortunately Astrea not really targeting with it. He will get the stalker, and another 2 workers do go down, but this is absolutely a worthwhile Oracle. But well, that's a lot. That is 5 stalkers in the natural, and there is no energy left on the shield battery. So Skillous, he's looking pretty good. I mean, Blink is on the way. +1 will be on the way in a second. Nice micro there from Skillous.
But the Immortal is out. Shonker Boy here to save the day.
Yep, and now Astrea, he's in a pretty good spot. Up 2 workers, up a little army supply. With a more defensive tech, I'm not going to say he is ahead in tech for the moment, and he's going to leverage that tech into a 3rd Nexus. As of course, well, getting a 3rd base in PvP it's a lot slower than in any other matchup. TVT's not even that slow. So now we have our 5 minute 30 third base is coming on in here, and this Oracle is in a pretty poor position, but it is okay for the moment. Now, where does Astrea go from here? Oh, sorry.
I mean, right now from here, I was gonna say, right now from here, if I'm Astrea, you just drop your third. You've seen all of the stalkers. I mean, and I'm assuming, I believe you saw the Forge working there with his Oracle. So I'm just gonna keep going into some Immortals, and it looks like, yep, and he's gonna drop down a couple Void Rays as well.
Yeah, just to be defensive here, make sure he can keep this third base up and running. Is of course, well, Skillous, he has gone for Blink, and we do have asynchronous tech paths here, which is always interesting. You don't see that often, or not gonna say often, but that's not always the case in PvP. So often it's just Blink Stalker Disruptor versus Blink Stalker Disruptor, or Charge Light Immortal Archon versus Charge Light Immortal Archon. So it's always pretty cool to see what happens when you get asynchronous tech. When you see one player say with a Blink Stalker +1, and the other player's like, no, it's Immortals, it's Void Rays. I'm just gonna be defensive. I'm gonna establish my economy that way. And I think that's where I find PvP in general to be the most exciting. It's when you have these intersections of styles. You have an aggressive player and a defensive player. A cheesy player versus a macro player, whatever the case may be. A micro-focus player versus just a macro. I'm gonna hit you with that sledgehammer. Whatever the case may be, when it's not just two players doing the same thing. I think you get a lot more interesting games that way than just two players doing the same thing and one does it marginally worse or marginally better.
So there's just so many little intricacies with the different units that you can do, especially when you're getting all the multiple kinds of play styles.
Did I catch you eating pizza, Ash?
You definitely caught me eating some plantain chips now.
Wait,
something my potassium.
Weren't you complaining about? Didn't I have you a couple weeks ago complaining about your eating window or your feeding window and how it was closed?
Oh, that was a long time ago. Yeah, I fired that trainer. He didn't know my life. We have the battle of the hallucinated phoenixes here happening in between the second and third of Astrea.
If I can't eat pizza for every meal, I don't, and still be in shape and lose weight, I don't want that personal trainer. I'm gonna find someone who's gonna tell me I can eat pizza for every meal and still get in shape.
I'll tell you what. Oh no, I'll eat healthy. That's not a problem. But I'm not going to starve myself and then only eat for like an 8-hour window of the day. That's just, nah. I'd rather be fat.
Well, Skillous is of the same mind, as he is already eating up the fourth base here. Astrea getting set up for it, but I mean, that is a significant deficit here from an economic perspective. And yeah, Astrea is doubling the army supply of Skillous, but it's not really an army he can move across the map with yet.
Right. And he dropped that pylon there for his fourth a long time ago, but... Another scouting pylon out towards the top. But, yeah, right now, not too much happening between the two of them.
Yeah, it's just one of those... Although...
Skillous going up there for getting the second round of upgrades there.
Oh, yeah, so he's... Sorry, I thought you said forgetting. I'm like, no, he's got +2, just about ready here.
Oh, yeah,
and now he's... Oh man, this is a Skillous that I'm talking about, right? He's ahead in upgrades. He has, he's taken the most aggressive, he's taken the aggressive version of this base. Generally you would kind of see it here, but or you would see it in the bottom left, but it looks like, I guess in PvP at least, the meta has shifted, so you want the high ground rich fast speed base.
You always go for that top one.
Yeah. And now, we have a Skillous. He's gonna get aggressive here. He's down a little on army, but he has this +2 versus +1 timing, and Astrea has forgotten his +2.
Yep, Astrea very late getting that +1 even, so.
Yeah, now Skillous, he has turned this pretty decent, such a fast third base into a massive supply lead here. Up 30 supply. And yeah, the Stalkers, not really going to get a whole lot done here. But the thing is, now we have Skillous. This is what I was talking about. He's never... Okay, that stasis trap is going to be absolutely insane. Nice job there. Keeping a Skillous and stasis in this game. But anyway, we see Skillous. He's never playing with one army. He's playing with two. And now he can't afford to lose these Archons. So that is going to be a rather expensive trade. So we do see him reinforcing here. Is getting ready to move with the army. And now, well, he's going to be fine. The force fields are going to do nothing because, well, they're Archons. Nice try, Astrea, but that's not really going to work out. And now Skillous, he's up a base once again, but this time it's Rich Vespi. He's going to have so much gas. And, well, I got a question for you. What does a ton of gas turn into when you're talking about a Protoss player?
Oh, a ton of gas. That's going to be turning into more Archons, more DTs for me.
Yep, exactly. There's the opportunity for just so many Archons in this fight, but also 1-1 Sky Toss. We have both +1 air attack and +1 air armor on the way as a second star. As a second Stargate or third Stargate's on the way here, along with the fleet bacon. And yes, Astrea is here. He's doing okay. He's moving out. He will just be able to get this Warp Prism, which is nice for him. But see, we see the army of Skillous. Well, actually, no, it's just only in one place. I'm seeing the supply lead. I'm like, he's got so much on the map, but his army is only on the left-hand side. And right for the moment, this army from Astrea is absolutely terrifying. It is much better than the army of Skillous here.
It really is, and it's caught in the pincer movement.
Wait, question before you, though. Who is caught by who? And now these Zealots do not want to go up this ramp, not into these Archons. Oh, yeah. That's a scary thought. But now, 1-1 air is just about done. We have 3 Stargates done. Question is, what time does he transition into it? Nice blink there from Skillous. He's going to be able to get on top of the Oracle. And now we're going to zoom out a little. As Astrea, he's posturing, and he does have a better army. He's up 20. He is up 20 army supply. But. You were talking about upgrades. There's a timing where Skillous will have +3, and Astrea only has +1. Granted, it's a smaller window. It's not as big as +2 versus +1 was, but it is absolutely there, and it is it's kind of a scary thing. Skillous, you want to be careful. There we go. Like
heard you.
Yeah, see, he's paying attention on the 2-minute delay. But now we have Skillous. Stasis doing a really good job finding these stasis traps. And he is, of course, fighting with 2 armies at once. But Astrea, he has the death ball. And I was talking about, the macro player with just want to smash your face in versus the micro player attacking 2 places at once. But oh no, Skillous, he's found the flank. I don't know if it's going to be enough though, because again, this army.
It's not enough.
No, it is not. But now we have a couple disruptors on the way here. And Skillous is just doing such a good job of forcing Astrea to never get the fight that he wants. Because, I mean, he really wants the fight here. He's been down economically this entire game. If we just look at the bank here, Skillous is massively ahead. From a bank perspective, not necessarily from a game perspective here.
Right.
And now we have carriers on the way.
I mean, from a bank perspective, from a weapons and armor perspective, Skillous is pretty much in control. Right now, the army still looks scary for Astrea. Astrea could make a move and really just wind his way through, but so far right now, all the cards are just falling in favor of Skillous.
Yep, and unfortunately, Astrea is maxed out, so he cannot warp in anything to defend this. Yes, there's 1 DT there, but 1 DT does not a defense make. That being said, the Immortals, the Void Rays in the main base are actually doing a really good work here. They took down a lot of static defense, but carriers should be out in a second. Meanwhile, the army on the third base of Skillous, Astrea needs to do something with that. He can absolutely take this fight. Where are the carriers? They are just about done, and they are there to make the defense. And now there is a flank coming in from every side. The Zealots did such a good job on the run by. Well, they're going to get on top of Astrea's army from behind. And Skillous, he has money to burn. He has money to spend. And yes, the first attack doesn't really work. Doesn't really matter. More and more carriers are on the way. They're starting to tear things down. And Skillous, he says, "I have a bank. I will spend it. You're only taking out 1 of my bases, even if that does happen." And now, well, yeah, okay, now, sorry to be distracted. The Void Rays went in. They tried to kill off the Cybercore, tried to get a +2 air attack. They were unable to do so.
They were so
it survived with
close.
16 HP. All right, but now there are a lot more carriers on the map. But that being said, this is a lot of Archons. This is a lot of Archons. And yes, there is an upgrade lead pretty much everywhere for Skillous, but Archons do an incredible job at just removing the interceptors, and carriers don't really care about things when their interceptors are gone. They're not very good when their interceptors are gone. But now with the disruptors on the ground here as well, they're going to be able to take out a lot of these Archons. And now the bank of Skillous is really showing what it's made of. Stalker's going to blink on top of the Warp Prism, but they will back up just... Okay, there we go. Now it goes down. And there are just so many carriers now.
Still on the field. But that is definitely going to change, and we still have 3 more carriers on the way. Some High Templar on the way.
These are 2/2 carriers as well, so they are even their interceptors are just lasting for forever. I mean, generally, you know, you get +2 attack and you get shields or something, but carriers, the interceptors are doing a really good job. And I think that the big story here, Astrea thinks he's in a fine position. I don't think he knows about the 3 or 4 o'clock base. Right? I don't believe he has scouted that. No, he is not. So he's like, I took out the 4th base. Skillous, he's got good tech, but it's fine. I got 5 bases. It's okay. Oh, this disruptor.
Oh!
Just barely out of range. Just barely out of range.
Lucky, barely.
But now the carrier's coming in once again. The disruptor shots are going to do what they can, but they're just going to get targeted down. Now the stalkers are going to blink on top of this, but they're just too much on the ground here. And I think Skillous, his bank is coming to fruition. She's like, where in the world is all this money coming from? But well, he has the 3 o'clock base, and this 5th base of Astrea will go down. And with it, all the probes in the corner. The disruptor shot. There we go. Attaboy. And Skillous suddenly up 50 supply.
So disgusting. Oh, he goes. He's trying to drop another base up there, but we already had the Guardian charge lot from Skillous up there in the top right, preventing that additional replacement base being dropped. And in come the carriers here. To the 3rd.
Yep, the 3rd will go down as well. Now, Astrea, he's doing what he can to force a base trade here. And he will force the recall, but, I mean, unless he wants to recall, his army is still not very good. He can't really fight this. And yeah, I mean, Archons are good, absolutely, but how many interceptors do we have on the map at the moment? We have 69 interceptors. Nice.
Giggity. Don't make any more interceptors and don't lose any. I'm leaving it now. How it is.
Now we're at 72. I apologize,
okay,
Ash.
well, thanks a lot.
You know what? I endeavor to make sure that the Protoss players build the perfect number of interceptors. But unfortunately, while Skillous did listen to me about where he should put a base, he did not listen to me in this. As now we have the army of the carrier, the Golden Fleet, although more of like a Purifier White Fleet. Anyway, getting on the aggressive once again. And well, the carriers, they're just targeting down the disruptors, so that's really all that matters. As well, Skillous, he has a lot of disruptors. And Astrea, he's just moving around the map. He says, you know what, no, I don't want to take this fight. Let me move around. Let me dive and duck and dodge and dip and dive and duck and dodge. But now we have the now we have, well, we have disruptors moving around the right-hand side. It is a full flank. Blink has been used. We're going to see the Novas go in. Are you ready for some explosions?
Oh.
There we go. It's a big boom.
Delicious.
And I don't know what Astrea thinks he can. He still doesn't know about that. He thinks his opponent. Oh no, now he's gonna find it.
Now he's found it. Yeah.
Honestly.
And it dawns on him. Right
I would
now.
not have been surprised. I would not have been surprised to see him say, "Oh, there's the base. Oh, well, GG." You know, like.
GG.
Yeah. I thought I was in a good position. Yep. There.
And
much,
there
we
it
go. This is one of those situations where I really wish we had a player cam, because you see the shake of the head, and you're like, okay.
Oh man, that's my favorite thing. I love player cams during sporting events.
Absolutely, it's where you get to see Cyril is actually getting really hardcore tilted, which is always surprising.
Mm-hmm. Although I gotta say, it wasn't as fun having the cam on with the Beyond versus Dark yesterday, because it was heartbreaking to just see him getting upset and being in pain from his wrist, and
you talk about it. You talk about his wrist pain though. I wonder almost whether because he did well in the online tournament, right? In his own setup at home. I mean, he won ROG. And then he goes on, and the next couple days, and he goes and he just wrist pain immediately. I almost wonder whether it's something to do with the GSL setup, and whether like the table height, or he has peripherals that they don't, or something. Where it's something just to do with the setup in the GSL studio.
And that could be it. I mean, God only knows. His wrist had to be tired no matter what. A lot of the games that he had in Asus were best of 5 that went all the way through 5.
Yeah, and that's not something you really think of. Like, as a viewer, man, best of 5 group stage, that's awesome. I love that. But I apologize. I should have added you. Anyway, best of 5 group stage, I love that. That's awesome. However, for the players, I mean, that's a lot of games. And if you're like Beyond and you do have a history of medical problems, that is maybe not the best thing for you. So it did mean, you know, we get series like Rainer versus Beyond going 5 games in the group stage.
Oh, so good.
When you talk about these these best of the best players though, it's funny because you kind of can almost just throw away the matchup names. It's no longer a ZVZ. It's Cyril versus Rainer, but we'll talk about that more in a second. We got game 2. And here we are in the upper right. In the red for Cascade Gaming, up 1-0. It's Skillous.
In the bottom left, in the blue, ready to come back, ready to fight. It's Astrea.
But yeah, you know what I was talking about? It's like Rainer versus Cyril is not a ZVZ. It is Rainer versus Cyril, you know. Cyril versus Björn is not a ZVT. It is Cyril versus Björn. It is at such a higher level, and there are just so many more complexities that you cannot reduce it down to, well, it's ZVZ. ZVT, ZVP. It has transcended its base form, and it's just something so much more interesting, so much more exciting than just that standard matchup. So which is why, you know, when people say, I don't like ZVZ, I'm like, yeah, but you probably like Cyril versus Rainer, right? Or like, oh, I don't like TVT, but yeah, Björn Maru. You know,
oh, exactly.
Supersedes things. Once again, well, we have Astrea. He's going for an expand build here. It looked like it wanted to be a gate expand, but with the Pro here, Skillous says, no. Get your Cybercore. I'm gonna make things a little bit slower, and there is the pylon to block things, which of course means, sorry.
No, I was gonna say, there goes the cheeky pylon block.
Yep, and of course this means that Astrea, he's most likely gonna find his way to the low ground and block as well. Although, I mean, Skillous isn't going for a low ground for quite a while, so I mean, he may not decide to do that.
Yeah, he put the second pylon up there, so yeah, the expanding really wasn't on his mind quite yet.
But yeah, there we go. Now Astrea, he's going to go down. Unknowingly deny the pylon positioning, but there we go. Now he's going to do what he can. It's like, okay, you're taking your natural. I get it. Okay, you're gonna have 2 somethings. Interesting enough, we don't see the canceled pylon. I get. It's interesting. That was all the rage like a month ago, even a couple weeks ago, and I just don't see it nearly as much anymore. You know, you put the pylon in the wall, and you cancel it once you see whether it's stalkers or adepts. But I've seen that a lot less recently. I don't know why the meta has changed as it is, but see less of that. Honestly, probably just because of situations like this where you just sneak pro off to the side. It's cheaper in the end of the day, and you say, oh yeah, you have adepts. Oh yeah, you have stalkers. Okay, easy peasy, easy squeezy, lemon peasy. As now Astrea here, he will go for a Stargate opener, and the question is, what does he do from here? Is it oracles? He's trying to be aggressive. Is it just a bunch of void rays? What is his plan?
It's oracle. Oh, and there it is. Yep, there's the oracle. It's got to be oracle.
Well, are you telling the future, Ash?
I am. I was.
You're
telling said oracle.
You're telling the future from the past. You're telling the future about the past from the future. Yes. Something like that, but yeah, both players have opened up a Stargate here, and it looks like Skillous is absolutely going to get the positive trade here. The one Oracle goes out, it's not even going to get rallied across, but Void Ray behind this. And actually, yeah, that's, okay, need to look in the naturals. These 4 Stalkers, they are, you know, well, they managed to depower a gate, and we have no gates in the main base, so there's no production here whatsoever. So I'm going to look to move forward, and did that Oracle just die? It did not, okay, I thought...
Across the map, yeah. It's halfway across there, but there is a Phoenix out. Or there was. Yeah, the Phoenix is actually already on its way there, so the Phoenix won't be back to help take care of anything back at home with that Oracle. And Void Ray comes out, manages to help push back that attack there. Oracle is getting a couple probes down here, but shield battery in the main and a Phoenix. It's not going to get anything else done there.
He's dragging it forward. The stasis trap. The stasis trap. The big blade play is there for Max Angel. Although, how big of a brain is it? It's a force field on the ramp. He can't get down.
He can't get down, but luckily there's no other ground units for Skillous there right now. So. And he's walling them off with the boys.
Oh, but he will get the Void Ray in exchange. And now this is no, he walled them off with the boys, and then he put a wall down in the natural, so the Stalkers were never going to be allowed to escape. But now it's a bunch of Phoenix, and there are no shield batteries in the mineral lines, so there's absolutely room for these Phoenix to get in and start killing a bunch of workers. There we go. And now we can go see him pop. You know, people say popcorn is a good snack. It's light, it's easy, it's good for you. But I would contend that probes are even better snack than popcorn.
Sir.
Madame.
How dare you? How dare you, Zerg player, talk about eating probes to me?
I mean, Skillous is a Protoss player, and he's doing that too. He's going to get on top of this Void right now. Unfortunately, or fortunately for Astrea, there is a shield battery here. So, not really going to get on top of things, but he will use energy, and he probably could just jump on top of that and kill it. And there he is. He's going to dive back in, but we have a bunch of depths in the main base as well. So, Astrea doing some real good, actually extremely positive counter damage here. He's getting more than he's losing at the moment. So these depths are just doing so much because there's not a whole lot of defense. It's 4 Stalkers.
Oh. Goodness, yeah, 11 probes going down there.
And that's never a situation you want, right? You're like, ah, yes, I am the Phoenix player. I own the map. I'm being aggressive. I'm getting all the damage done. Well, you kind of just lost 11 workers, and that upgrade, that lead that you maybe had, well, it's suddenly not there nearly as much. And actually, we do see Skillous. He is aware of this. He's going to transition into charge, into a robo, and he's not just going to hardcore commit to the Phoenix anymore, because I mean, he has taken enough damage where maybe that's not worthwhile. Maybe he just goes to Gren anyways. I mean, that's kind of the standard opener. But if he was in the position he was in at the start, well, maybe he could have just done something crazy like Goblin, or who's another Skyzer or Sky Toss player? Is it Hellraiser that I'm thinking of?
I think it is Hellraiser. I mean, there's not a whole lot of solidly just Sky Toss players anymore.
I mean, there's Goblin, there's Rotterdam, but there's another pro player.
Roddy's the only one. I mean, and that Roddy is the Phoenix King. But yeah, there's not a whole lot.
But now it looks like Astrea. He says, "Look, I have enough. I have my Void Ray. I have my Stalkers. I have a Stalker that I'm warping forward." Okay, so it actually looks like Astrea wants to get aggressive here. Says, no, you don't have enough Phoenix anymore. I think I can do something here. And I don't know if I agree with him. I mean, there are a decent amount of Stalkers coming in, but a lot of them are coming in from the main base, from the natural, as they try to be aggressive. And looks, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Astrea says, no. I want to make you be scared. I want to put you in a position where you maybe can't get you have to be defensive, and behind that's how I'm going to take my third base. But Skillous, he has his third base. He has had it for a while. Astrea only just now getting his started. Now we're going to see the blink on into the main base though, and we're going to see what are we going to see get here? The Phoenix are just going to lift everything, and and of course the Charceless get on top of everything as well. So we're just going to have to wait for this blink to cool down, and so many Stalkers are going to go down here, of course, with the lifts. That's maybe not the best play, but you know, this is only a distraction. A bunch of Stalkers get on into the third base as well, and more warpins are here. Blink is on the way for Skillous, but it's not going to be here anytime soon. And now Astrea, Sorry?
Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, and now Astrea is playing kind of like I was talking about Skillous. You know, the gateway-based army in 2 bases at once, but it's a lot of Charceless against a lot of Blink Stalkers, and I think you know who wins that fight.
Bots versus Blink Stalkers. Yeah, no, sorry.
Unfortunately, it looks like Astrea will be battered back, and it's not looking great. Astrea, Skillous with that 1-0 lead, and well, Astrea absolutely has to win this game to get a chance to get a crack at Max Packs, and another crack at Max Packs. Actually, I believe Max Pack beat him earlier in the day for one of those final qualifying slots from the North American Qualifier #1. There is a second that is a couple days from now, but once you qualify from the first one, well, absolutely that's the thing is the Stalkers should be able to blink on top of these, but no, Astrea's not paying attention. And where do we go from here? Skillous blink is just about halfway done. There is no +1 on the way for either player. I know, now Astrea dropping the Forge, but Skillous just has a bigger army. It's a bigger army, he has had economy for longer, and he's sitting here up 30 army supply. And he honestly just has a better army. Now, these Phoenix, they're just kind of off in a corner, but all the Charizlots, the Immortals here, this is just, well, kind of your 1A. Nice, actually. Did you, so what, it looks like one unit was moved off to the right-hand side. I don't know if this was intentional or not, but it drew all the charge of the Charizlots off the right-hand side, which meant it was rather difficult for Skillous to take the engagement that he wanted. And actually, no, okay. 80 army supply to 45 here as Skillous, he is driving in, trying to do what he can to separate the army of Astrea from the natural, from the main.
Yeah, Astrea falling back. Shield battery overcharged, but it doesn't matter when that shield battery gets destroyed by charge lots right away. This base and all of its probes at the very least are going to fall, but the whole army of Astrea here is just gone.
Yeah, and really this just comes down to the fact that Skillous took his third base so much faster, was able to establish that economic edge, and, well, it just transitioned into a game lead as, well, what is he going to do now? 130 supply, 269. Both players equal on upgrades for the most part. I mean, +1 sure on the way, but in terms of actual actionable upgrades, yeah, it's actually Skillous is ahead. He has charge. Astrea does not. And now he's going to keep blinking all over the place. He's going to get on top of his third base, and GG Skillous is going to advance to the qualifier.